One of the things that keeps the Pokemon anime fresh every new series is the introduction of new traveling companions. Each has a new goal and development to keep them relevant throughout their entire series, or even multiple series. Some like Misty, Dawn, and Serena are some of the most iconic characters in the entire Pokemon franchise. So what if we threw all of that out the window, and completely replaced every traveling companion with new ones? These companions could have different goals, but would be still as relevant to the plot as who they're replacing. Yeah, let's get right into it. Let's start with the original series companions, and with Misty. To replace Misty, we need to figure out the main characteristics that make her a good companion for Ash. Misty's a younger trainer, making her a good fit to travel with him. Her main character arc revolves around not being good enough for her sisters, and eventually working to overcome them and become a gym leader. So I think the best replacement given all of this would be Janine. She would have a similar arc of going off on her own to master poison types, and then replace her father as a gym leader. While not every replacement is going to be this similar to the original, Janine ended up being very similar, which works out. The next OS companion is Brock, so we'll need another trainer who's an older teen, a good battler, and a cook. The problem is most of the gym leaders and important characters of Kanto are too old for this role. I thought about maybe Erica or Sabrina, but they're in their 20s, and that's just too old to be traveling with 10-year-olds. I think the best fit would be Bill, as in the Red and Blue chapter of the manga he's 15, and Brock himself is also 15. In the anime, Bill is a Pokemon fanatic, and he would be a great resource to teach Ash and Janine all about the world of Pokemon, so I think he's a good replacement. And finally for OS is Tracy, a completely original character made to teach Ash about the Orange Islands. So his replacement would probably be a different original character native to the islands. Let's call this new trainer Gracie. And to make her slightly different to Tracy, instead of sketching Pokemon, maybe she'd take photos instead. So Ash's new OS companions are Janine, Bill, and Gracie. For AG, we start off with May, and her replacement will have to be a bit of a blank slate character, so we can put all of her character development onto them. I mean, the obvious choice is Brendan, but that's just too easy. And for the rest of this video, I'm going to be ignoring the possibility of just gender bending the protagonist characters. I think the best pick would be Wally to replace May. He would start off only wanting to go on an adventure in order to breathe some fresh air, and not have any interest in gym battles. With the same arc as May, he'd eventually choose contests and make it to the Grand Festival. As for Max, he's a completely anime original character designed to be May's brother, so we'll replace him with an anime original sibling for Wally. We'll call her Wallette. Yeah, I can't name characters. She'd have the exact same role as Max. Finally is Brock's replacement, and while I could just have Bill tag along to Hoenn, I'd rather find a new character just to keep things going fresh in the video. How about Roxanne, a rock-type gym leader just like Brock is? As a teacher, she has more than enough knowledge to mentor our protagonists. So for AG, Ash will travel with Wally, Wallette, and Roxanne. Moving on to DP, we have Dawn, and as previously stated, Lucas is just not an option. Since her character arc is anime original, it really can't be slapped onto a gym leader. For a different character to use, I looked to the stat trainers, and I decided on Buck. He seems to be the right age for the job. In the anime, Buck is a treasure hunter, so in this alternate version of the anime, I think he'd spend his time in the Sinnoh Underground practicing contest techniques and searching for treasures that can help him, like ancient ball capsules or even fossils. The thing that doesn't translate perfectly from Dawn to Buck is Dawn being motivated to be a coordinator from her famous mother, whereas Buck's brother is an Elite Four member instead. The best way to do this would be for Buck to be inspired to be as strong as Flint, but in his own different way, and Flint would completely accept that. So that's Dawn. As for Brock, we could again use Bill or Roxanne, but we'll do something new. For a mentor gym leader, I think Candace is probably the best pick, but she already has a big role in the series, so I don't know if she's the best fit. So instead of a gym leader, I looked at the Sinnoh Frontier Brains, and I think Thornton would be a good fit. He's an inventor, so he'd basically be a predecessor to Clement, and his personality is a bit cocky, which would be an interesting dynamic. So Ash's new DP gang will be Buck and Thornton. Moving on to best wishes, the first companion is Iris. She's aiming to master the dragon type and one day surpass Trayden, with her later becoming the Unova champ. I think the best pick is going to be Benga, who's also somewhat of an inspiring dragon master. Instead of working to surpass Drayden, he'd want to dethrone his grandfather Alder, which honestly works the best with an arc of him becoming champion. He'd travel through Unova with Ash to get stronger, and after the BW series, he'd take on a league and become champion. As for Silent, the easiest possibility would be to replace him with one of his brothers. While I'd like to do something more original, I don't think there are any other Unova characters of the same age who would fit the role well. So I'll just replace him with Chili, since he easily has the most personality of the brothers and would become a good friend of Ash. However, Silent would still make a couple appearances in the series to help train and help his brother, so the main BW group is going to be Ash, Benga, and Chili. I just wanted to take a quick break from the video to let you know that only like 20% of my viewers are actually subscribed. If you made it all the way to the Kalos portion of this video, you probably like my channel, so maybe consider hitting the red button. I really appreciate it. Thanks. On to the XY anime, the first character is Serena, and I'm gonna replace her with Emma. She's a bit of a blank slate outside of the essential plotline, which wouldn't become a major part of the anime until later into the Team Flare arc. As for Emma, we know she's an orphan, so Serena's plotline with Grace could be adapted into Emma's feelings towards whatever happened to her parents. She's a scared kid, and would eventually warm up to Ash after seeing how brave he was fighting Garchomp and Lumiose, drawing her to start a journey and travel with him. I don't know if a more shipping would be as big of a plot point with Emma, but it could still exist. As for Clement and Bonnie, I want to go over them together since they're siblings, and Bonnie is an actual games character, so I can't just make a new anime original sibling to any other gym leader. I think the best siblings for the job are going to be Nita and Evelyn, the Battle Shadowlings. Evelyn, the older one, would replace Clement and be a strong but shy battler, aiming to become more confident while battling Ash. Nita would be aged down a bit, so she wouldn't be a trainer yet. It would be similar to Bonnie, and hell, maybe Evelyn would be the new Blaziken mask. Ash would travel Kalos alongside Emma, Evelyn, and Nita. In Sun and Moon, Ash has 5 classmates, which is way more than any other series. The problem with this is that basically every character in Ash's age range has been used already, and there are some slim pickings for who else to replace. We're gonna have to throw in Elio and Celine to fill up the spots, and since they're blank slates, they can replace any level companion and have the same goal and character arc. For the other 3, Acerola, Hao, and Mina are basically the last remaining young characters, so they fit the bill. I considered Gladion, but he's stated to be older than Lily, so I don't know if he'd fit the class. Lily and Gladion would still be important characters in the Aether arc, but would be more side characters and not tied to the class. So I guess Kukui's new students are Ash, Elio, Celine, Acerola, Hao, and Mina. For journeys I'll go quickly, as both Go and Koharu are completely anime original, so they'd likely just be replaced with other anime original characters. If Go wasn't replaced by an original character and was a games character, I guess he could be Chase or maybe Victor. As for Koharu, to keep her as Sakuragi's kid, maybe she'd just be swapped with her brother. Or, I guess if we wanted to change the setting to Oak's Lab, she could be Daisy Oak. Thanks for watching all the way to the end, and if you enjoyed, please consider subscribing. This video was really fun to make, and keep in mind I love every companion in the anime. I don't think they should be replaced, this is just a fun what if. So, I'll see you in the next one.